I'm going to be playing Penny Dreadful Fridays with Azorius Control, which is my first time playing it this season. It seemed like early, or during rotation, that the deck was going to die because we lost Condemn. But it's probably not dead because we still have Horn Lockwhale and Joust through to do decent impressions. And we have Mana Leak, so the counters are fine. And otherwise, it's kind of just similar. I think the main reason Azorius Control might be really good this season is that there's less creature aggro. So normally White Weenie is really good into Azorius Control, and that's kind of a problem for this deck, but it's mostly just Legends as the aggro decks, which should be easier to beat, but I'm not entirely sure. But the main thing is there are a lot of combo decks, like Dark Ritual and Lake decks, as well as Nadu, which this deck should farm, just because, you know, it's a counterspell deck. So I think it is really well positioned into this meta, but we'll see if it can beat decks like Boros Legends. I don't know what my opponent is on. Probably some combo deck. Black market connections would be a problem, that's fine. So, this matchup is kind of interesting, because Living Death doesn't matter if you have a Wrath, but if they have an Altar in play, it actually does matter because they can just mill you out if they have enough power in their graveyard. I could be dead here. I could have bluffed a counterspell while holding up to Deuce. That would have been a misplay, though. They don't have it. Okay. So they're looking to play Doomsday Excruciator to win the game. Okay, that's an early Living Death. They target themselves. So I'm going to take 12, that's fine. They're only going to mill me for 12. Which kind of helps me because of Search. They could also mill themselves and then play another Living Death to have enough to kill me. Because they put a lot of creatures in the graveyard if they just use them all on themselves. So the next Living Death probably is close to lethal, or lethal, with the Altar. What is this? Is it... They drew that? They just drew that, wow. They found off Architects, or they found the Swamp, but probably not. So they probably just drew that, yeah. I mean, I never have an out. If I had Mana Leak, I would just win. But yeah, I am just dead now. Yeah, they just drew it. This should be a favored matchup for sure, but I do have to actually draw counter spells. I wonder if I play Spell Pierce. Probably not. Negate is also not the best. So, what are my win cons? So, creatures are kind of bad. Approach is also bad, though. It's probably just flash creatures. Just Timeless and Lockwhale. Probably just don't win the game for a long time. Just control them out. Because I have Disenchants. That's not that hard. Because basically, both of their combos require Altar of Dementia. Because Living Death is only a combo if they can mill me. Excruciator needs Altar, of course. Well, not of course. They could have other stuff to mill, but they don't. So, removal is kind of bad. Wraths are fine. I am playing a Wrath in the sideboard. Did I already side it in? I thought I had a Wrath. Oh, there's the Wrath. Denick may be bad. Repeal hits exactly Altar. I already have Disenchants. Maybe something like this. Okay. I don't know about negate here. It counters living death. It potentially counters alter. But yeah, it doesn't counter Doomsday, which I guess is fine. It doesn't counter random creatures. That shouldn't matter, but I'm not sure if you can hear, but there are some pretty loud birds chirping. Okay, so the hit Heliod's first, definitely respecting the disenchant. I don't know why I found that. That was... what was that? Okay, so... I'm just gonna say... oh, I guess that was correct, because now I can cycle it. But I didn't know I would find the land, so... so I can't really tap out here, because they could have Lake plus Drit. It's also just better to get Ancestral down, so I'll do that. So I could definitely die before I get Ancestral. They have nothing, though. Wait, they put a land. So they just have cyclers. Okay, that's good. They didn't cycle anything, wow. What do they have? If they had cyclers, they would have used them, right? They know about the mana leak. That is an interesting play. I have lost because I let this resolve before, because my opponent had like 3 duresses plus altars to beat my counters. It is definitely convenient that Mana League works here. It might not if I let this resolve. It's like the fear is they have altar, potentially multiple, potentially duress. They probably don't have it in hand though, duress. They probably have an altar though, right? Maybe not. I don't know, I feel like it's hard to lose if I counter this. But if I don't counter it, there's definitely a world where I can lose. If they play another one, I won't counter it. If they play another one, I just Ancestral them. But I did have to Drit to play that Excruciator, so that's nice. Not the most impactful though, and I don't have a mana leak anyway. So Timeless is fine here. I do have to counter a Living Death, I think. I could try to Ancestral for a Wrath. It's probably not worth it though. I would just play Absorb, because I don't care about Doomsday. I'm not sure. The mana efficiency is not very important, so maybe it's just Absorb. Or no, Negate. So I draw 3. Should be pretty hard to lose from here. I could main phase the Deduce. Maybe I should. There's nothing I can really play. Like, I guess I could play Search for Escanta if I use the clue. I probably don't need multiple counters up. Okay. Those draws are not great, but it's fine. Do I even counter a living death? I feel like no. The timeless is not that important. Architects doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I'm not gonna counter that. They don't get the draw from Excruciator. It's upkeep. Is there any reason to hold on to the lands in my hand? I don't think so. I don't have Forbid in the deck. I don't have any kind of loot, I think. And there's no discard my opponent plays that would make holding it relevant, like Kaya or something, because it's just duress. Or maybe like Spectre Shriek. Cruel Claws Heist. So it does take longer for me to find my card advantage. Interesting that they waited to play the lake. I don't know why they played that. Actually, no, that was a pretty good play. So, if I counter this and then Wrath, I deck out first. And if I don't Wrath, well, if I let it resolve and don't Wrath, I die. And if I do Wrath, I deck out. So yeah, I would have won if I let the other one resolve, because I had the Ancestral to target them. But I do have to counter this one. And luckily they let me Mana Leak. Okay, yeah, it's very over now. Not that it wasn't already. Kind of surprised I wasn't able to chain card advantage. No, I didn't even search for his content to dig into the yard, so I don't know. I do kind of like negate now that I've played with it, but what would I cut? Is it ever whale? Probably not. It could be a Wrath. I don't love that. I feel like they could scam me with an early Drit while I play like a Search for Escanta, but maybe I just don't play that early. I always hold up counters. I don't know, maybe it's just like timeless. Like you could maybe say having more lands is better because I need to hold up counter spells all game. But it's potentially worse because I need to have counter spells all game. So this hand potentially lets my opponent have their turn 3 unhindered. Well, never mind. If I wanted to play Serum Visions, maybe. They're looking for a land. A non-lake land, I guess. Okay, if they play a Living Death, they do just lose. So, still looking for a land. A swamp. Did they find it? It looks like no, okay. That's very good for me. I do need lands for myself, though. Okay. They found a land. They play a Living Death? I feel like that would be a terrible play. Oh, I can't counter that, unfortunate. It's fine, though. I can just counter the Living Death. I guess I don't counter that because my answers are like Needle and Heliod's Intervention, which beat multiple anyway. Do I have any that only beat 1? I don't know that I even do. I don't have Rapiel in the deck. All of my disenchants are Heliod's. I have a Needle. I don't really have Bounce, do I? I think my only answers are 2 Heliod's, 1 Needle. Wait, what'd they do? They sacked the swamp and did nothing. Sacked it to the lake. Nevermore. So I name Doomsday. Really no reason to name anything else. Both Living Death and Excruciator are potentially must counters later in the game. And Negate works against Living Death. Good. So I win. I don't think they have any answer in the 75 to an artifact. I guess they could have Ratchet Bomb, but they probably aren't playing it, so that's 1-0. Alright, round 2. My opponent is playing some kind of tempo or control deck, I imagine. I feel like it's not combo, but it could be. Malcolm? I don't really want to counter that, so I won't. It does seem like Librarians, or like the Honor-Bound, Mono Blue, Shackles, Jin deck, without actual Librarian, because it's not legal. So this probably gets countered, that's fine. Maybe not. Maybe I should have countered the Malcolm. I can't actually resolve anything if they tap out, so yeah. I do think this card is better than Forbid. Because Forbid, I think it basically never comes up. And this card always does something. Okay, so Timeless could be good here, but they might have an unsummon or something. They might have Vulcan Shackles. Okay, Ancestral. I do cycle Timeless for farmland, because I have lands, mostly. I don't love cycle or eternalizing. Did they miss a land drop? It was on the play. They were. So they did miss a land drop. That doesn't really mean anything. I guess it does mean that I want to block it. It also means that... I don't know what it means. I was gonna say something about Shackles, but it doesn't really affect that. I mean, I guess they're less likely to have a land drop because they can't Malcolm. They can't connect with Malcolm and play Shackles in the same turn. Okay, so they missed the land drop. So it was correct because they didn't have the answer. I play farmland because I want to hit a lot of land drops this game. and I don't have a use for the mana that I'm losing here. So they put Stoic Sphinx in the graveyard, right? Yes. That is interesting because Stoic Sphinx is actually pretty hard for me to deal with. I don't have a Rune Taillow in the deck, I don't have Vidalcan Shackles, so I have very few answers. Basically the only thing that can deal with a hexproof creature is a flyer or a Wrath from me. And it's pretty easy for them to counter a Wrath. So it's interesting that they discarded that. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe it means they have a lot of counters. They have more Sphinxes. I don't know. Or they have no way to answer the Timeless. So Stoic Sphinx isn't that good. So I could play Jace. I don't think there's much of a downside to letting them resolve whatever they want, because I don't think they have anything particularly good, so I think it's fine for me to protect Jace with a counter. But I'm not sure if Jace actually does that much. I think I do play him though. Then hold up Absorb for the Ancestral, which I will play, I think. I do lose to Spears, which would not be ideal, but I wonder if they main deck Spears. It's probably not very many if they do, but it looks like they have it. No? Why am I F6ing? What am I doing? Wait, what? I pressed 5 and nothing happened. But it doesn't matter, they had the Spears. So now they flip his Kanta. That's kind of a problem. Wait, they put a land in the graveyard? What? I guess since they had less cards in hand, they had less of a need for lands. Okay, so they probably get to resolve this Ancestral, though Mana Leak is not enough to counter my Absorb. They need 2 soft counter spells. That is unfortunate. I think I do want to counter the Ancestral anyway. So them not having many lands does mean that Escanta is a bit worse, because they can't use it and play a card in the same turn, potentially. So I assume they don't have main deck negate, so it's really just like the thing that they played, Refute. Or Forbid, if they're also playing that. That is not good. I would love to draw a Joust through. Yeah, this is not looking too good for me. I don't know why I did that. Okay. So I need to play Wrath and resolve it, which might just happen if I just play the thing. They have to have 2 counters, which is pretty unlikely, or they have to have Refute or Forbid, so probably just Refute, which could be a 4 of. Okay, so it resolves. They could get like Unsummon here to save the Sphinx. I imagine that's what they're looking for. There's no way they have any kind of counter for this. Is Shoal legal? I don't think it is. Okay, they have the Refute now. Okay, so I actually am winning the late game because of these Ancestrals, kinda. Though it's kind of interesting because they have infinite value, I have a lot of value. But I have the mana efficiency. I mean, I have a lot of value with these deduces as well. Though, I might just get countered here. Ideally not by a Spell Pierce or Mana Leak. Refute, come on. So if they refute, they can't use Escanta. They have the Mana Leak though. If I have a large thing, I just play it to bait the refute so they can't use Escanta. I will just play Deduce main phase. I think it's worth playing the Trawler just to prevent them from activating. They do have to counter this, unless they have Shackles, in which case I lose. But it didn't seem like they had it. Like, I don't think they were ever really going to tap out unless they had another thing that they really wanted to counter. Because they're never going to play, like, multiple creatures in the same turn, and a Tempest Djinn still leaves them with enough mana for a refute. Or they discard Island. Okay, so next turn and the turn after, I do things. Okay. Better Ponder. They just play a Lock Whale. I guess I look for a counter. Maybe that was a misplay, because now if I find a Wrath, I can't use it. Wow. That is... I really wish I waited now for either of them? Maybe not. I guess I play the Compass now? It doesn't really matter what I exile. I don't have Clock. Midnight Clock. So, Thaumatic Compass, the Dig, just the 2 cards on top. Am I really just taking those? I guess. Okay, so... there's no way for them to do anything about the Spires. I mean, they can, like, play a Sphinx. Or just more creatures, but... so that's ward 2, so I need... I mean, I still have 6 other mana. If I find a Wrath, I probably don't play it. But I'm not sure. It does prevent them from playing a Sphinx or similar. Which is not necessarily important, because I could just repeal it. It potentially prevents them... well, it does prevent them from playing Escanta if they play a counterspell. They play Forbid with no buyback despite having 2 cards in hand. What does that mean? It means they're just afraid of a counterspell, I guess. I guess I do play Dig Through Time. There's not a whole lot of reason not to. Escanta is a bit late. I guess I'd take Absorb. And I guess it has to be Escanta. Nothing else is good. So I absorb the Forbid. And then do nothing. Wait, no, I can make a land drop and then still have Spires up. Okay, this is looking really good for me. It doesn't matter how I tap, I can't play Absorb regardless. I could counter if my opponent counters. Yeah, so even if we both have a lot of value, I think I win that game because my cards are more relevant. Or like, my opponent just has creatures, but Wrath just deals with multiple creatures. I'm a lot more capable of sticking my threats, because my opponent doesn't really have good answers other than trying to make a bigger board than me. And I just have a lot of answers. That is terrifying. Because if they have another one, they have lethal if I do nothing. Well, I think I do just counter here. I could have gone Spires on the bird or just hit the whale. I'm surprised they have that in their deck. Like, I don't have any answer in hand right now, so I feel like I can't just leave both of them in play. Like, I do have repeal, that doesn't necessarily work though. Because it lets my opponent counter the Spires. Okay, so I do get to flip his Content potentially. So I guess I cycle here to make sure. Graveyard. I am dead to the bird right now. Those cards do nothing. I can't play that, can I? I have one counterspell to protect it. I think I will just believe that they don't have it, which maybe loses me the game. I mean, yeah, if they have it, I do just die. They have another whale. I absorb. No. It's gotta be leak. As much as I would love to gain life, I can't survive if they have the cycler anyway. Imagine if I had disallow instead. I would currently be dead. But, you know. Surely not. Surely they don't draw multiple. Why are they even playing more than one copy in their deck, is the real question. Wow, they just had both. Yeah, why are they even playing multiple of these in their deck? Playing one is more than enough already. So, how many threats? They have Malcolm, they have the bird. So they have Malcolm, they have Obstructionist, they have Whale, they have Sphinx. And I guess they don't play Tempest Djinn. It's just those four, I guess? Is Nevermore playable? It hits Stoic Sphinx, and they potentially don't have any pound spells. I kinda like it. D-Sphere probably bad. Negate is questionable, since I really want to counter the creatures. Space is a lot better at fighting over counters. So how good is Dream Trawler? Probably not great. They could definitely have Shackles, which I don't know if they would be playing post-board. I assume they had Shackles main. It's kind of weird. They seem to be playing more flash threats than normal, despite Academy Lore Master not being legal. So is anything bad here? No. Jousthrough is maybe bad. It hits Malcolm, it maybe hits... Well, it hits the Nimble Obstructionist. It maybe hits Stoic Sphinx, not usually. I guess it's fine. Heliod's? It's Search, that's about it. Pithing Needle is unplayable. Yeah, I think this is it. The main question is just Dream Trawler. It trades with the Stoic Sphinx. That's mostly it. Or, you know, it wins if they don't have it. Or an answer. I'm kind of afraid of Shackles, though. I'm not sure if they're actually playing it post-board. Okay, good hand. Do I keep a Wrath? I feel like no, considering my current hand. But yeah, I am a little weak to Stoic Sphinx or the Whale. Well, I don't need to worry about the Whale on turn 2. Okay. Ponder it is not. I would have had Ancestral Return earlier if it was Ponder or Preordain or Sleight of Hand. Maybe. Maybe Sleight of Hand. Wait, did they... Oh, they had that on turn 1. I didn't notice. Did they counter this Deduce? They probably should. If they have Spears, they probably do. Otherwise, probably not. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, I still don't have a land. So, that is unfortunate. I guess it's pass. Because if I activate the clue and find a land, it's not like I'm hitting every land drop. So, not a really big reason to do it now. And if I activate it on my main phase, my opponent kind of knows that that I had to top deck my land drop. Because I would never activate it on my main phase otherwise. Like, I'm not gonna play a Search for his Kanta if I draw it, obviously. Okay, nice. I could play Jace, Nevermore. If I let my opponent counter something, then they don't have hand size issues. Like they're about to have. Though I guess they probably don't have hand size issues regardless, because they just play something. And if I try to absorb it, they counter with Spears, Mana Leak. I guess, yeah, they only have 9 cards in hand, so 1 card, and they have 1 card to discard. Do I absorb a Search? Probably not, because I don't want to get Spearsed or Mana Leaked. Though if they Mana Leak, I can play Jace potentially. Though it probably doesn't work. Though maybe I just always play Absorb because I want to play Dig. I guess I always play Dig, unless I find a tap land. Do I counter? I don't actually want to counter this. No, I counter the next thing they play, if anything. They're just discarding, fine. Like, I would rather not counter that, because I have so many answers, but... Okay, them discarding a Whale is pretty good for me. That is unfortunate that I don't get to play Dig, so it's really unfortunate that I don't find any land drops. Because I really want to not have to discard all of the cards I draw off Ancestral. Like, if I already had land drops, I could just fill my hand and continue hitting land drops. They never counter Joust through. They could counter a Horned Lockwhale. So I guess I want them to counter, so I do this first. Maybe they Spears. I don't know if I actually want that. Well, I guess Spears is actually really good here, with the amount of lands I currently have in hand. So yeah. Because, like, it would be very live after I Ancestral. Or just to counter the Absorb after I protect my Ancestral. Okay, 2 Spearses. They might have the full 4 in the 75. So let's see if I can resolve this Ancestral. They can't really Mana Leak, although they could have 2 or Mana Leak plus Spears, which I can't really do anything about. They obviously have something else, right? They have to have a Mana Leak. I want to absorb anyway. Because, I mean, if they don't, it's just so good for me. And even if they do, it's, like, not that bad, I think. Because their counterspell was live regardless. Come on, land. Thank you. So, they don't have a whole lot of value. Well, I do. Mana Leak is potentially bad here. I don't know that I really want the land drop that bad. It's fine. Especially if I can actually resolve this Ancestral. So what happens if I play Nevermore? They play a Sphinx and I die? I can't counter Sphinx. Okay. I guess I do nothing. And just dig. I need them to not have Sphinx. If I had counter spells in hand, that would be easy to stop. Absorb plus Leak, or just double Leak, would be pretty good. But yeah, if they have Stoic Sphinx, I probably just die. So they have a dig. They have no cards left in the graveyard. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean I could leak the next one. Okay. So they can't really play a flash threat. I mean, they could play Malcolm. That would be annoying. I'm not exactly sure how I would deal with that. Okay, they just play a Sphinx, and there's no way for them to contest this. Well, Dispel isn't legal, right? I'm pretty sure it's not. Wait, I actually can't play Dig. Well, I have Dam on top, I don't know why I did that. I don't know how could they... Like, there's nothing they could play that puts a thing of mine into the graveyard, so... I just need one more turn, and I have it, I think. Okay, that's something. I think I have to do nothing here. I want to play Nevermore, but... Maybe I can, actually. Maybe I do. So... I would love to know their amounts of cards, because if they play a Stoic Sphinx, I kind of want to name a counterspell, but I have no idea what counterspell to name. Yeah. That's the problem. I am going to try to check their list. So it doesn't seem like they've played this list before, and it does not seem like a net deck either. So I have no idea what their amounts are. So I don't want to name Refute because they could have cited that out. don't want to name Spears because they already used 2 of those. I feel like they don't have 4 copies of both Spears and Negate. Like, there's no way, right? Is it really just Mana Leak? I feel like it is. Is it ever not a counter? It's not Sphinx, obviously. It's never Whale, right? I mean, it could be Whale. Maybe it is just Whale. I kind of feel like I have to name Leak. Or I die. Like, they wouldn't have played it there, right? Imagine if this was a Sunlance. I would have killed the Sphinx. Sunlance is terrible, though, so it's probably good that it's not. I would love to have Dig for 2 mana already, so I could target this Sphinx. But it's fine. Or maybe it's not fine. So they play a Negate. So I need to play a Wrath and be able to answer their next creature. I wonder if they counter either Dig or Ancestral. So... It could just be Absorb Leak. That might be a punt, but it's fine. Okay, so I play Damn. They only have 1 relevant card, which I counter. If they have a counter plus a creature, or 2 creatures, or 2 counters, I die. 3 lands, not what I wanted. And an Absorb. Not terrible. But not super relevant here. What do they have? Well, if they have Horned Lockwell, it doesn't matter what else they have, they just can't win. Okay. Do they have it? Do they have all relevant cards? Do they play any irrelevant cards? It's like all creatures, counter spells, and card draw, and they don't even really play much card draw. So, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I should have been able to win that. I probably played that poorly. I feel like it should definitely be a favored matchup, but yeah, Stoic Sphinx is a problem. Alright, round 3. So there are like 18 players in the tournament, so if I go 3-1, I'm guaranteed to make top 8. If I go 2-2, I could also make top 8. I would definitely have to win this match, though. Giganta? So it's probably something with Nadu, I think? No. It's Red Deck Wins. Why are they playing Giganta? No, it's a human. Like, what? How? So, what are they losing? Sulfuric Vortex? Some of, like, Razorkin Needlehead? I don't know what else. I guess they don't lose that much. Play a second one, come on. Okay. So, hopefully they aren't main decking Price of Progress. I could D-Sphere. I feel like I'd rather wait, see if they play another one, see if they play a bigger threat. Or if I can find a more efficient answer, I do need some better lands, preferably untapped, that aren't Mystic Gate. So, ideally they play a card other than Rimrock Knight that I want to counter. Good. So I cycle the step. Okay, I guess I'm just playing D-Sphere. And conceding to pop. Yes. Yeah, okay, I could have actually done that, maybe. Though they probably would have just had a burn spell. So I think I'm going turn 5 Timeless. And just hoping they don't pop. Okay. Double Rimrock. So I just go Timeless, Timeless, hope it gets there. Probably not doing a whole lot else this game. Maybe after the double Timeless I play the Denick. That's fine. Wait, they have another burn spell right now, I think. There's no other reason to main phase. Okay, no pop. That isn't pop, but it's not what I wanted to see. Can I get a Wrath, please? If I get a Wrath, okay. I am just better. Assuming they don't top deck a pop, of course. But, I'm not afraid of the Eternalize because it doesn't beat Timeless. So they probably just Gigantha and don't activate Barbarian Ring because of the Kenra. Well, maybe after I play Timeless they realize that Kenra doesn't work, so they activate it. So next turn I just play Compass, hold up Absorb. Can maybe beat Pop, probably not. I probably have to tap out. Okay, they do nothing. Do they just play Gigantha? Yeah. So I can't really do a lot about Kenra. That's a little scary. I think I do this. I have to block the Gigantha. Then I can Eternalize Timeless. Okay, so I really just want to gain the life. I have to block, of course. So they do get to attack with Kenra the turn they put it in play, which could be pretty problematic. Wait, what? Why'd they do that? Why did they do that? Now they can't use Kenra. I kind of like going Compass because it lets me flip, but they aren't going to get Kenra anytime soon, so I think it doesn't really matter. So they draw Pop here, or they die, I think. What if they go land to land? That could work. Probably not. It's not even lethal, so even if they get an attack in. Yeah, sacrificing the Barbering was a terrible play, I think. So it doesn't really matter when I activate the Compass, so I guess I don't do it now. I'll just pass. Do they attack? Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I'm not really teching for this. I should probably have some kind of Baneslayer for both this deck and Legends, but I wasn't able to play Gisela, the 4/3 Baneslayer, because of Chain Lightning. So it would have to be a 5-mana Baneslayer. And I guess I decided Trawler instead, I don't know why. Trawler is probably just worse, because Baneslayers are just so much better against aggro. Like, Dream Trawlers can actually lose in combat to creatures from Legends, unlike Baneslayers. I don't know, the card advantage doesn't really matter. The gaining extra attack doesn't really matter, I think. And getting it down a turn earlier is just so important. So, what do I want? I could play Approach. Do I play Negate or Spears? I could. I'm not sure that I want to. Ancestral's probably a bit worse here. How good is Heliod's? They have Giganta, so they don't have the, I mean, I just have to play it for the life gain, right? It's not about the disenchant at all. Okay. Ideally, I just play some interaction, play a Dream Trawler on 6, end the game. So the main thing with Trawler versus Baneslayer is Trawler doesn't die to removal, and if you care about card advantage while winning the game. And neither of those things matter against the aggro decks this season. So this hand is bad into pop, bad if it doesn't draw a land, but if it draws a land, I mean, it's not even that good even if it does draw land since there's no removal. I don't know, I'm gonna keep, why not? If I draw an island, I feel like it's winning, but it still maybe loses because it's just a counter on 2. I let them have 2 turns unhindered. But now it's not even a counter until turn 3. And drawing a tap land is better than most draws there. So yeah, not a great hand. Like, a Wrath on 4 does not save me at all. I need to find something else. So what do I even do here? Could I hold up a counter? I could, but why? So I go Serum Visions. Denick is maybe something. Denick is really good here, actually. Really good for helping me get to Wrath. I love how the counter spells are just completely irrelevant. So, are they just activating Kellen? Wait, Kellen is actually really scary here. No, they just play Incinerate. What does that mean? Does it mean they have another burn spell? It could. But maybe not. So, if I'm able to survive this at a decent life total, I should win. They could draw 3 with Beaumont for sure. And if I block it, then they just use the ability, and I don't gain life. So I think I do this. I'm taking 2. They have the pop. Okay. Yeah, my mana base is not prepared, because pop is really uncommon this season. Boros Legends has a hard time playing it with their mana base, and also, it's not actually that popular of a deck. I mean, I do have like... Oh, I only have like 10, but I do have some ways to tutor. basics. It's never more, right? Maybe it was a mistake to play 8 counterspells on the draw. It's fine now, though. I don't know, I feel like I just don't change anything. I could try to play Nevermore for pop. Or like Spears negate. I don't think that really works though. So just give me a basic hand. I mean, I did have that game if they didn't have pop. But they did have quite a few looks for it with Beaumont, so... yeah. And I don't know that I necessarily won that game, if... because I had to play Wrath, right? I guess maybe not, but then I just got to get more Beaumont cards. I do need a white source. Okay, I don't want Dam. I can't cast it, and I already have a Wrath. So... this hand looks really good. Hopefully they don't have a good turn 1 play. That's a decent turn 1 play. Unfortunate. I don't Joust through until next turn. Because I would much rather have Mana Leak up. What does this mean? I don't think they have a land. So I think that I just go for Wrath. That's not quite what I wanted. This is kind of risky to go for a land now. But I guess they don't have that much damage in play. I think it is look for a white source. Which is maybe a misplay. Unfortunate. No, that was a misplay. I wanted to play that first. But it's fine. I guess. Yeah, I mean if I just played Jouster I could have saved a lot of life there. I'm not even doing anything here. It's just Wrath. This is actually a really good draw for against Pop. I didn't even really notice. Okay, they can't Beaumont. Burst, that's fine. They can never do much damage. And I have some life gain, which is nice. I get best to go... I mean, they can do 6 with double chain if they top deck a land. But yeah, they should be pretty sealed. I can play the land because I can just counter pop now. I'll have counter spells up all game. They still haven't found a land. And I'm just going to Ancestral now. So yeah, it is pretty over. Okay, that's a lot of waiting. Wait, what do I even discard? Is it really just lands? How have they not played anything? No, it wasn't just lands, because if they did nothing, I wanted to be able to, play the land next turn, instead of discarding. But how do they have no 1-drops? I guess they played a bit already. I guess I'll joust through this one. I will survive for long enough to play that for sure. How do they have nothing? Are they really just holding up Incinerate or Pop? There's no way they have nothing. Because they would have to have 7 3-drops. There's no way. I feel like Timeless does kill them somewhat quickly, but there's no reason to do that. Like, I can just counter everything they do. There's no reason to be aggressive. Why not? Like, there's not a whole lot of reason to do this, but I can't lose if I do. I can't lose if I don't either, so there's that. Yeah, these double barbering has definitely been hurting them. Well, it doesn't really hurt their chances of winning, it just hurts them in terms of life total. Okay, there's a land. There's a chain. They are holding up a pop, hoping I have no counters. It's probably best to main phase it if they have a pop. I mean, it's definitely... well, they might want to wait for me to play Dig Through Time, I don't know. But if I have a counter in hand, the pop just does not work, so... Okay, so they are actually just dead. There's nothing... I mean, I guess they draw a land, play a pop, they can tie. I don't know. But to cast any spell, they would have to die to barbering. Pretty much. Okay. So I am now 2-1. If I win next match, I am locked for top 8. If I don't win, I maybe make top 8 anyway. Okay, so turn 1. Prairie Stream, turn 2, Serum Visions, Ancestral Vision. They are playing a combo deck. Never mind, they are playing Rats. I did say this hand was bad against aggro. It shouldn't be too much of a problem against Rats though, because they don't really have a Goldfish, I assume. I remember losing to Rats earlier this season with Nadu, because I couldn't beat Pack Rat. That shouldn't be a problem now though, because I just play Rats and they die. Though I do need to actually draw Wrath at some point. But yeah, they're playing Rats, their Goldfish is not going to be fast. And they are very dependent on their 3-drops. Like the, mostly the Lead the Stampede card. Garumonics. So I can just counter that right now. Could be the Creature Maker as well. Cruel Claw's Heist. I guess I counter that. Interesting card to play game 1. Seems kind of weird for an aggro deck to play that. Okay, 1 mana 1/1s with no text. Probably like the only 1-drops that Rats have. I guess I do nothing here, maybe repeal the colony. Probably on end step, because I'd rather try to counter a Garumonics. They probably would have played it if they had it right, or maybe they were... I mean, it was kind of obvious I had a Mana Leak up. So maybe they didn't want to play into that. This is the other 3-drop, make a 1/1 every turn. Do I even want to counter that? I don't know. So I remember Dream Trawler being kind of questionable against this deck. I think that's because it can't block very well. And I think the main problem was they went too wide for me to outgain them. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen this game. Maybe I should have kept the timeless. I don't know. So I just repeal the colony, maybe on attack step. There's the pack rat. They use it now? Really? That is not a very good play, but okay. There's really no reason to discard the card when I could have a Wrath. And it is going to hurt them because of D-Sphere. They lost the Tango Colony in their hand for no reason. And I knew there was a good chance I had a Wrath since I'm getting the Ancestral down. So yeah, that just wasn't a very good play, I think. The repeal did not help me, but it's fine. I wasn't going to depend on drawing a Wrath. That would have been a foolish play. I do just go Dream Trawler now. I don't think they ever beat it. I have D-Sphere to deal with a pack rat or whatever. Or just any kind of board. Okay. And I can just block. Yeah, I have several single target removal now. There's no way they make a board big enough to contest Trawler's lethal. I guess 3 rats is maybe okay if they have like a lord. It doesn't matter though, and there aren't really any lords. I don't think there is a dedicated rat lord. Like there is potentially like changeling lords. And some anthems maybe. Maybe not, honestly. There is the toxic thing which could help their goldfish because it doesn't care about lifelink, but there's no way it's ever gonna work. I also just have Jace, which is amazing against this deck. Just like as I just said, they don't really have lords, so it makes a lot of their creatures have 0 power. So this matchup should be pretty free. I feel like I did lose this matchup once in like season 33. Maybe not. Maybe I just came close to losing. But it really shouldn't be possible to lose. Yeah, that's not a great card for an aggro deck, but that's what you gotta do in Rat Tribal. Play your 1 mana 1/1s, 2 mana 1/1s, random other cards, because you don't have enough rats to make a deck. Opponent has still not conceded. Really trying to find that Karumanics into Rat Vindicate plus Rat Lord. I don't know. Neither of those exist. They just need to find the black Jokalops and hope I don't have a counterspell. Death Cloud. I mean, any Edict would do something, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't actually do anything. Their creatures are useless. Okay, so I play the Wrath, I play Removal, I play Trawler, I cut Counter Magic. Life gain doesn't really matter so much here because they're not playing Burn. Search. Compass is bad. Search is maybe okay. Maybe not on the draw. Spears never does anything, I think. They don't really play non-creatures. They did play the Hand Hate. I'm not going to try to Spears that. They probably don't have very many. Does Heliod's ever kill anything? Not really, I think. Maybe it is just Absorb, because I don't really have anything else that matters. It could just be Heliod's for life, but that's pretty terrible against the creature deck. Okay, this hand is good. It has land drops, it has Wrath. Nothing can go wrong. I guess they could try to duress me out, so I can't answer their threats. Oh, they are also a Dark Ritual decks, so there are definitely some reasons to play Rat Tribal. Just because you're in black, you get Drit, you get Duress. I'm not sure that dritting out Cruel Claw's Heist is the best use of your early advantage. Like, that just doesn't really do anything. They're taking Mana Leak and trying to counter a Wrath. I don't know. Serum Visions, try to find some cards with text. Oh, they are making me discard to hand size. That's cute. Turn 1 on the play, Cruel Claws, to make your opponent discard a hand size. Wait, no? Oh, no, they steal a card. I don't know what I was thinking. They steal a card, it doesn't make me discard. They took the Horned Lockwhale? I don't know why they care about single target removal that much, but okay. Maybe they should have taken the Timeless just to try to prevent me from getting a land. I mean, they could also take Serum Visions if that's what they wanted, but... yeah, there really is just no way to prevent me from winning. So... is it just Serum Visions now? Dig? What? I don't think that's what you should be afraid of here. I'm going to win the late game regardless. It doesn't matter if I have my late game cards or not. Like, they're just not beating the Rads. So I just go plains here. Maybe there's something I would Mana Leak. Carbonics. Probably not that. Is it just Whale? I think it is. Single target removal is not very good. If I'm targeting a big creature, I don't want it on top, because it's like Carbonics or something. The Token Maker. Pack Rat. Like, Whale is not the best here, but I don't actually have that many removal spells to play, so I kinda have to play it. Maybe that's something I should change to be better against Legends, but I actually kind of like cards like Thaumatic Compass against Legends, because they don't go so wide, they go more tall. And I actually kind of want Heliod's against them, because they have Burn if they're Boros, they have Flowering. Maybe I shouldn't counter that. It's kind of interesting here. I don't really have anything to do because my opponent doesn't threaten me with anything. Like, what do you do as a control deck when your opponent does nothing? And it's not like they're waiting for something. They're just not having anything. Do I just, like, play the step as a land? I mean, it's probably just activate Timeless, take over the board with it. Because they're never going to make something bigger than a 4/4. Though Death Touch is a little annoying there. I don't know why this preview seems to keep changing. Is it because I'm moving it, or because it actually changes? So if I attack with it, I do need to be wary of Horned Lockwhale. So I'm probably just never attacking. So If they play the Lagoon Breach, they can't play the Lock Whale because it's blue. And the Cruel Claw's ability of being able to play it of any color stops applying. So they can't pay for it. If they could play it though. They don't have to own it to get the creature side once they play the adventure. I guess I like a land here. Probably shouldn't have played the island, but... Do I block Engine Rat if they have nothing else? And they hold up mana? Maybe. Probably not. Do I just sit there? Probably. Maybe not anymore. I mean, it really just doesn't matter. Okay. I will block with that. I guess I just counter the whale here. I guess they forgot about it. They had a Doomblade. Why are they playing Doomblade against Azorius Control? It doesn't hit Timeless, it doesn't hit Trawler. It hits Denic, I guess. I guess I will just attack with both here. I've got to tank the whale at some point, right? And maybe they'll just forget about it again. Yeah. Lake of the Dead. What do they even have to do with that mana? Like, they don't really have expensive cards. They don't really draw cards. They don't really have mana sinks. I guess that's how they draw cards, yeah. But Lake, really? I feel like that's not it. Just play Drit. They hit another Karumonics and nothing else. Wait, how? They just hit lands? And I guess they're playing a bit of Drits, Duresses, Cruel Claws. They do seem to have a lot of those. They hit 2 cards. I'm not even gonna look at them. They just concede, okay. So I'm now 3-1, I make top 8. Alright, it is the top 8. My opponent is on Temur Cascade. So I would like to have Mana Leak up for my opponent's 3rd turn. But I would also love to get the search down. Though, I mean, they'll probably just play Lelia, though. I kind of have to respond to that. Though I could just find a white source instead. I feel like I kind of need to play Search because I need to find a land. Though I could definitely just die to Lelia into Cascade. Is it Lelia? Looks like a seed that... No, it's Lelia. So I have to D-Sphere if I find a white source. Mana Leak doesn't really do anything here. Wrath, I already have that. Come on, white source. Yeah, I just die. I maybe should have held my counter. I don't think it really matters. I can't counter a Cascade. They don't have a green source in play. Okay. Well, I died. Yeah. I mean, I could have won if I found, like, a tap land. And then, like, played a Wrath, hit... I don't know. Well, I guess they didn't have it, so maybe I win anyway. I do need to find a white source next turn still. Wait, what? Did they find that off of... They found the Shardless off of Lelia, I assume? I wasn't really looking. Can I find a land, please? No? Okay. Understandable. Okay. Nevermore? I feel like it's pretty good. Spell Pierce could be good. Is Trawler good? It blocks pretty well. It blocks favorably into Challenger. Maybe blocks Lelia. If it's the turn they play it, I guess. Spears is pretty good, I think, just for countering the See the Truth. Joust Through is potentially good into Lelia, kills the other thing, the Challenger. What are their other threats? They have Whale, maybe? Denick is bad, I think. Doesn't really block well. Their creatures are too big. Jace just dies. D-Sphere, I don't like. Repeal is bad. Horned Lock Whale is bad, I think. Do I really want 5 Wraths? Probably not, right? I don't know. Dam is probably worse. No, I don't actually know what they could possibly have for any of those. So what do I want? What non-creatures do they have? I feel like Negate is bad. I guess it's just the Wrath. So their game plan is just play a bunch of random creatures, some with Cascade, and they have like infinite value, but their plays are really weak. And they do have the Lelia combo, but that shouldn't ever really work. I mean, obviously it worked there, but I drew no lands. Okay. I would love an island instead of this plains here. So I could actually get this Ancestral on 5. So again, I am a little weak to them doing the thing, because I have no counter spells, not really an interaction. I guess I am a lot better at finding lands, at least. Do I keep Serum on top? Yes. I can't bluff a counter if I do that. I'm not sure how much that really matters. They have See the Truth. Yeah, Lelia is annoying here for sure. So do I play Deduce or Compass? I mean, I just play Serum first. I'll take I'll just play Compass, I think. Yeah. Next turn I just pass. I do die to Shardless, potentially. Or take a lot of damage. If they have Lelia, which they do. I mean, can I really damn here? I guess I kinda can. I don't love that, but I don't love dying either. I mean, Shardless is still pretty good against me. But yeah, I mean, maybe it would have been better for me to do nothing, because it wasn't even close to killing me, but I couldn't have known that. And like, they have Challenger, so they have a lot of haste damage, so it's kind of important that I don't get too low on life. So I don't really need to do anything here. I probably just tutor a land, play a deduce. Maybe not. Maybe I play double deduce. I could just play a dig with nothing else. Probably a misplay to do that. They play Challenger. Hit Shardless, so they hit See the Truth again. I think I need a Compass. I can say I'll hit some kind of interaction. Yeah, this is not really the matchup I wanted to see with control. I just can't beat Bloodbraid Challenger with this configuration. Okay. I mean, I guess they can't hit Wrath, so why not do that? They're also going to discard if they didn't, potentially. Maybe it's incorrect to do this. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm dead regardless. Okay, I just can't answer the infinite value from Bloodbraid Challenger. Like, I have Trawler, I guess. I guess having Trawler here might actually just win the game. It blocks everything. They probably don't have a great answer to it. But I don't have it, so... Yeah, and I just drew nothing here, so I think I'm just dead. Well, I guess maybe not. They don't have Commandeer, I assume, or they would have held it. Not that it does anything against Day of Judgment. I could die to Lelia plus Shardless. And it probably would kill me, since they only have like one See the Truth in the deck. But yeah, they do just get a lot of damage in with Challenger. I do have the land to stop it. Stop one of them. Can they stop hitting Shardless off this? But yeah, so they have 2 Challengers, at least. So, it's not really enough. And they're getting too many cards in the graveyard. But they are out of See the Truth, so it doesn't really matter. They've drawn enough of their deck already that they don't need the value. This dig is kind of questionable now because of Commandeer. So I am kinda dead. Do I play around Commandeer? Maybe I just try to play Wrath. But Wrath is not necessarily even that good here. I don't know. I guess maybe I wait for them to play Challenger, and then I dig. Because I'm pretty sure I'd just die if they Challenger. And I can't find anything for it. Okay. Do they have... I mean, there's really no reason to Shardless, right? I don't know. It's comparable. It's probably worse than playing Challenger to go Lelia Shardless, but... I do need to do something here. See if I can find the Joust through. That looks like a commandeer. Maybe not. Okay. I want to take absorb, but I feel like I should maybe have something for this turn. I do want to have life gain though. So what do I find off Eulalia? Ill-timed? So I'm going to 5. I need to find something, or I could just maybe colonnade. Not sure if that actually works. It can be cool to like put their challenger on top, because if they play another Cascade they lose it, but they just have way too many challengers for that to be relevant. I guess I cycle here because of dig. The second one. I'm never playing that as a land. Okay, do I play the Wrath? Yes. I kind of have to, right? Okay, this is not the worst. I clear their board, I have spires for their 1 haste creature, and then I get to draw some cards. What is this? Is this a counter? There's no way it's a counter spell, right? I have forbid? Wow. I mean, I guess it's a sideboard card. There's no way they main deck that, because it messes up the Cascade. I guess it's fine in the sideboard. Is there not like Mirror Shell Crab they could play instead? I guess the buyback is actually really relevant in this deck because they have so much card advantage. They're just never gonna run out of cards for Bloodbraid Challenger. Like, why is that only 3? Like, that is nothing that escape cost. It's basically just... you can cast it from your graveyard as many times as you want. Okay, they hit the only haster in their deck. Cool. Like, imagine if they hit any card that didn't have haste, which is literally any non-Lelia card. So that is another ill-timed. So I go to 2. They don't have burn, I imagine. Just haste creatures. I actually do have a blocker with Horned Lockwhale. Can I draw some non-lands? That is not the non-land I'm looking for. So if I go... I do suspend this, I think. Yeah. Because I can still use a clue token and spires. So I am dead to anything. Wait, I'm dead to the other challenger, right? Surely they don't notice. Yeah, they just needed to not hit the haster off that. And that was still in this game. Also, it's kind of weird how often I'm getting flooded, despite having 23 lands with 5 of them having cycling. Like, I'm playing 18 lands, essentially. So it's kind of weird how hard I'm getting flooded. Okay. Yeah, that's not the matchup I want to see. Alright, I went 3-2. I made top 8 and lost in the first round. So, yeah, Temur Cascade is a really hard deck to beat because they just have Bloodbraid Challenger, and I wasn't really planning for it this season. So, in Season 35, people were playing Jund White, and it was kind of a problematic matchup because if you didn't plan for it, you really couldn't beat Bloodbraid Challenger out of that deck. And it's kind of the same here, except it's even harder to plan for. I feel like you could actually beat Bloodbraid Challenger. I don't think it would be that hard to beat if you planned for it. Like a Baneslayer Angel, like I was saying for white aggro, is also really good against them because they don't really play much removal, especially post-board. And Shackles would also be really nice. I don't know why. I guess I just forgot about it. I built this deck in like 5 minutes before the tournament. But yeah, but it's never a good matchup because they just have so much value, even outside of Challenger. They just have to see the truths. But yeah, I do feel like this deck might be the best deck in the format. I didn't face any black combo decks, I think. No, I faced the Doomsday Excruciator deck with Living Death and won. So it is really, I think it is really well positioned into the best decks in the format. But yeah, it does have some problem into the other decks, like Temur Cascade, like the more fringe decks like Temur Cascade. Some other things. And like Legends is probably a problem for this deck, though, as I said, Baneslayer maybe makes it decent. But I am definitely going to play this deck some more later this season. Maybe I'll bring it to the 500 or to the Magic Online tournament, Magic Online sponsored tournament. Because I don't really like any of the other decks that I've played this season. Which is maybe a good thing about the format, that it's hard to tell what deck is actually the best. It's honestly hard to tell if, like, I really couldn't say for sure that any deck is tier 1. Which is maybe a good thing about the format. I kind of like it more when it's more obvious what the best decks are because it's easier to win. But it is probably a sign of it being a good season. That's, like, balanced. But yeah, I think this deck is pretty good, and I will try it more.